Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy, Ruther, and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
The Weemy.
The Weemy.
The Weemy.
Neemy or Winemi.
Yeah.
The Neemy.
Tomato.
The Neemy.
The Neemy.
What's up? How's everything in Rutherville?
It's good, man.
You went out and you got ice cream last night. Saw that?
I did. Hit up the Mount Washington Creamy Whip.
Wow. Sounds like something old Ruther would put on a Bumble profile. Swipe right if you're trying to get creamy whipped.
Yeah, buddy. That does sound like an old Ruther profile. No, now it's actual ice cream with the fam. A little pre-dinner. Going a little unorthodox. Try to beat that rush.
Went out yesterday kayaking. We went sea kayaking in the harbor. And then on the way back, Charlotte goes, we should get some ice cream. And I was like, I don't know where we get ice cream around here. And then I saw this place, and it was like a coffee shop that I'd been to before. It's a coffee shop. It said, whatever, coffee shop and creamery. And I was like, all right, that's got to mean ice cream, right? That's what a creamery is.
Yeah.
Ice cream. So going there, it's mostly a coffee shop. There's like 8 or 10 little things of ice cream, gelato, whatever in the thing. And, it's not that hard to determine the majority of things, right? The ones with the green one with pistachios all over it, that's going to be pistachio. But a bunch of them are just not fucking labeled. And I'm like, what's that one? And she's like, oh, that one's blah, blah. That one's tiramisu or whatever. I was like, okay. What's that one? She's like, that's. I go, what's that? She literally rolls her eyes on the third one. And I was like, listen, this could all be solved by you guys having some sort of signage that says what it is. Like, I'm assuming you go through this a lot. A lot of people coming in and go, hey, is that orange passion fruit? Mango? She's like, it's tropical. I go, well, that's not even a flavor. That's a climate. So how about just some signage? You don't even have to get creative. You don't even have to write it out. How about just like the fruits, a picture of the fruit that it matches with?
She rolled her eyes because she's going to be replaced by a robot here in the next 5 years.
Yeah. Although the robot, I mean, have you gone to like the robot McDonald's lately? Have you been inside of McDonald's?
When was I inside of McDonald's? I had to run in because they messed up. They forgot an order, like something with the kids' meal, probably in the last 6 months. And I did it. There's nobody in there.
And those things, I've never been in anything. Forget a restaurant, forget a business, forget inside a machine. I've never experienced anything that runs as poorly as the unmanned McDonald's. You just go in, you place an order on the computer, and then you wait. I did it in South Lake Tahoe because they don't have a drive-through in the McDonald's in town. Day after the wedding, Charlotte was just like, I just need some terrible hangover food. She's like, let's get whatever. I was like, how about McDonald's? She's like, great. No drive-through. So I go in, punch in my order. I get a number, 768. And then 2 minutes later, they're like, 1,114. I'm like, we're not even in the same fucking ball. Like, did my order come up 400 ago? How is this going to work? And then you just sit there blindly for 25 to 35 minutes until your two things of fucking burgers already.
Was it just the workers cooking the food? Is that the only workers there?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then there's like a lady, you know, who's doing the like from the workers to the thing. I got order, blah blah blah. And I was just like, hey, this is crazy. But I ordered like 25 minutes ago, and the only numbers you've called out are in different centuries from when I ordered. She's like, what order number are you? I was like 740, whatever. She's like, yeah, we're working on it. Working on it. Are you guys building a second location in this McDonald's out back where you're sourcing the food from? What are you working on?
Yeah, you got to expect the lowest.
I mean, historically, you go to McDonald's, you order, they just go, thanks, and you don't even really like go wait somewhere. You just kind of slide to the side, and then some guy with a tray comes out and hands it to you, and you're like, this is fast food.
Well, I mean, it's just it's pretty bad across the board, and it's only going to get worse.
By the way, here's my thing, dude. If AI can do it better, let AI do it.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't wait. But the capitalistic, we can replace human beings with a computer, and then the whole system falls apart. I'm literally like, to me, and there's another McDonald's that I stop to every time I drive up to Tahoe, where you got to stop. It ends up being like there's a drive-through, but it ends up being like the McDonald's I go into for a pee. It's right before I go on. And then it's like, all right, I'm going to go in. Another one where inside it's only that. At this point, if you're at McDonald's and you don't have a drive-through, I'm not going in. Like 100%. Not going in. And the one I stop at, the last time I went in, peed, came out, got my car, went through the drive-thru. Because if your shit's just getting exponentially worse, I'm out.
Well, I mean, my take is the main problem is the kids, I'm a sound boomer, I don't care. They have like no pride in anything they do. They all just want to be influencers. They all just want to be Twitch streamers. So the kid who's working at a McDonald's or a Burger King or wherever, they're just so angry. And you're like, what I don't understand is I had those jobs. Like, I love those. Like, I used to love those jobs. Like, oh, this is fun. I'm making some money and whatever. I'm like with a buddy or whatever, getting a job. It's like, they're just all so angry, those kids. It's like, why are you so angry, dude? You work at Chipotle. You get free Chipotle. Be happy.
Well,
what are you so angry about?
I'm assuming it's because their paycheck doesn't cover a single thing that they want in this fucking world. They're like, oh, cool. It cost me $75 in gas to get to Chipotle, and I made $40.
Well, I mean, that's true. In fact, I'll do a shameless plug. If you want to see the actual rate of inflation, the latest Andy Ruther show does a deep dive on the cost of living, how like insane. I just did the 20 years. Thank you, ChatGPT. But like, I basically break down the last 20 years on all the cost of living. Basically, everything's got overall 70%. And the argument, which I know everybody else makes, and I agree with, it's like wages have not gone up 70%.
Yeah.
So like there's a massive, and again, that's all services and all. It's like there's a massive disconnect on just how expensive things are. And like I said on my podcast, I was like, it's insane to think, and I don't want to go too far into it because again, people want to hear it, they can go to that. But like, here's just something, food for thought, Prano. And I say this when I was a teacher, my first year in Las Vegas, after taxes, straight out of college, first year teacher, I made $1,050 every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
So $2,100 a month.
Uh-huh.
And I felt like I had money. And that's 2005. So to me, that puts things in perspective. I'm like, I made $2,100 a month. My rent was $500, included utilities, everything. And I was like kind of breaking down all the expenses. I was like, I never felt like, to me, that's the difference. I never felt the pinch. If you're a first year teacher now, you're not buying anything. You're not buying anything.
You're certainly not buying your Kevlar backpack. Those are expensive as fuck. You're certainly not buying the Glock that Donald Trump thinks that you should have in your fucking purse to bring to school to defend the kids.
Dude, I can't imagine.
I wonder if you take an average living expenses in America and then average teacher salary, how many months they have to work before they can afford the AR-15 that they need to protect themselves.
As you shoot with your insect gun.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it really is crazy. And again, my point on all that was like, my roommate had just bought a 2-story, 3-bed, 2.5 condo. He was in his 8th year teaching. Like, that's just not physically possible.
No.
And that was my point. Like he was like, oh yeah, dude, I need a roommate. Met him. We again both lived comfortably, like comfortably to the point of like, I was like, oh, I feel good, dude. Now it's like, no.
Do you know how many years you have to teach before you can afford to buy your own home? I mean, it varies based on how much your husband makes and can buy the home, because you're not doing it.
Or wife in my case.
Right. So, yeah.
Or wife in my case.
Lead breadwinner.
Speaking of
your wife, are you guys married?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to confirm we didn't miss anything.
Yeah, no. I was going to say, speaking of selling things and buying things, I saw an interesting, we've talked to the Bananas a fair amount here. I saw an interesting interview. Shout out to which dirtball sent that to me? Was that Chance? Yeah, shout out to Chance who sent me an interview. I'm just gonna play it real quick, and then this will kick us into some MLB talk.
Great.
Basically, this is their owner. I forget his name. Sorry about that, but talking about just the league and like what their goal and objective is on everything.
MLB tried to buy you?
No, and I would never sell. I would never sell.
Really?
No. Why would I? It's not about the money. What would I do? I'd be bored. I think the difference is a lot of people, when they start things, they want to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's never been my interest.
Yeah.
9 years ago, I was sleeping on an airbed. Yeah. I want to create 1 billion fans. I mean, we love this so much. Every single day we're out here and we get to do things we've never done before and get to have control of creating something.
Yeah.
We could make millions and millions more
Yeah.
if we charged the ticket price that people would pay. The reality is the average ticket on the secondary market is going for over $300. Our tickets are $40, $50, and $60 with no ticket fees, no convenience fees, no service fees.
Yeah.
They would say, charge the price that you could get. They would say, sell every sponsorship you can.
Right.
We have zero.
Right.
They would say, maximize the TV rights. Don't keep your games for free on YouTube.
Right.
We're not going to do that
Right.
because we're playing a long game. So as soon as you get other people in, they have different interests. Our interests are solely in creating more fans.
Yeah.
And if we create 1 billion fans, everything else, the money takes care of itself. Where I'm interested in is making sure I can take care of the players, take care of our staff, take care of our cast, take care of everyone, and do things that people never done before.
I think it's interesting. He's talking about building it up, and making it affordable, and obviously, again, I haven't done a deep dive. Like, I'm sure, like he's saying, the secondary market tickets are expensive, but as far as you go directly through them, there's no fees. But he is on something as far as a business. Once you have the base, you're just going to make a lot of money.
I love what he's saying. I think it's pretty flawed at the same time, but I love what he's saying. I mean, I think there's certain aspects of his thing where it's like, yeah, don't overcharge people for tickets. You can't really control what people do on the aftermarket, although there are ways to do that, and I'm hoping, I know nothing about their ticket model. I'm hoping that they're taking some steps to do that, because it's awful when you're keeping it low and people are profiting on the secondary market. I love that aspect of it. I love the games on YouTube, because like a TV deal, but then if he were smart, what he would do is do a game of the month or something like that on one of the region on like.
Well, they have been on TV, so I don't know how those TV deals work. They have been featured on ESPN a fair amount.
Yeah. So, but keeping games free on YouTube, smart, build your fan base. The no sponsorship thing seems like why. What like the whole thing is a big dog, and I and by the way, spit in the face of capitalists and don't suck a corporation's dick just to like pay your bills. I applaud it, but my fear for him as an owner of this thing is, what about when people get bored of it? Like the Harlem Globetrotters were on fucking Scooby-Doo as a kid. And now who's going to a Globetrotters game? You know what I mean? Like it's novelty baseball, and the phrase "the novelty wore off" is important. So just like have some sort of plan in place that's better than people are going to love dancing baseball forever.
What happened on that episode with Harlem Globetrotters? Remind me. I think I've seen it. Scooby. Do we remember?
I mean, I don't remember, but I have a feeling they thought a ghost was doing something, but it turned out to be an old man wearing a ghost mask.
He wears that outfit everywhere. The Bananas owner.
I don't know. I like that he's decided his whole idea was, I'm going to pick
Peanut?
two different Jim Carrey characters. He's like, I'm going to take his Dumb and Dumber outfit, but also make it the mask.
Well, that's the thing. He's not, they're selling out NFL stadiums in Clemson, for like they're not hurting. He's not hurting.
Yeah. No, for sure.
It is pretty crazy to think. I think it started in like 2016, like to take off like that. So he said, he laughed at baseball buying them that they've never approached. So that'll kind of lead me into baseball stuff. I don't know if you saw Manfred. You saw Manfred on the Mets game last night, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's talking about what he said about expansion. I'll pull that up.
A window into the future. Expansion, realignment, expanded playoffs. I mean, Can you see that down the road?
I can. I think the first two topics are related in my mind. I think if we expand, it provides us with an opportunity to geographically realign. I think we could save a lot of wear and tear on our players in terms of travel, and I think our postseason format would be even more appealing for entities like ESPN, because you'd be playing up out of the East, out of the West, and that 10 o'clock time slot where we sometimes get Boston, Anaheim, would be two West Coast teams, and that 10 o'clock slot that's a problem for us sometimes becomes a real opportunity for our West Coast audience. So I think, I think the owners realize that there's demand for Major League Baseball in a lot of great cities, and that we have an opportunity to do something good around that expansion process.
Okay, so is he referring to just no more American and National League and East-West?
Yeah. Which the baseball purist in me is like, oh no, but then also I'm just like, what does it matter anymore? The leagues play interleague games all the time. There's a DH in both leagues. There's nothing that's separating the AL and the NL at all anymore.
Yeah.
At all. So I think I just add all dust twice in that sentence, because that's how not separate they are. Yeah, so there, to me, it's the AFC NFC thing. It's the same. The AFC NFC, it's like an AFL NFL merger. Now there's the AFC and the NFC. It's like it doesn't matter anymore. To me, the obvious answer, if you're expanding and you do something like that, is why not have an East and a West? Not only does, like you said, it help with okay, the West Conference Finals, same way as it is in the NBA, is on later than the Eastern Conference Finals. It would help that, but obviously it would also help the travel thing. You know, if the Mets played the Red Sox more often than they played the Dodgers in the season, it would save on some travel. Now, I would argue that you could fix a lot of that stuff by, you know, without saying, oh, it's an East Coast and all that sort of thing, with like a little bit more thoughtfulness to the schedule. Maybe cut back some games, go 144, whatever. There's a lot of different things that you could do to like save on travel, but obviously these teams don't want to cut back. The owners, the league, no one wants to cut back on games. In fact, you look around the other sports, they're just expanding games. But listen, I'm a baseball purist. It's crazy to me that the AL and NL would cease to exist, but at the same time, it is common sense to do.
Well, regionally, you know, baseball is a big regional TV viewership. It's like, and that's the point of that argument of, you know, like you just said, it's like you got a Mets Dodgers on the West Coast at 7:00 West Coast, and then you know start till 10. So now people in New York gotta stay up. It's just, you know, from everything I've seen, they say baseball, if they expand the two markets, most likely they want to go to is Salt Lake and Nashville. So then you would have an East and West.
Yeah.
Which would make sense. Also, when we talked about the South, it's like there's nothing.
Right.
You'd add a team from the South, which would be helpful for the league. I mean, look, I get what you're saying there, and I think about that too, like the baseball purist of the American League, National League, and we grew up on it. But yeah, practical, like.
But you go back. It's funny. I saw a great as a Yankee hater. I saw a great reel or TikTok or something the other day breaking down the majority of the Yankees things, and it was like 20 of the 27 Yankees World Championships. I think one of the facts was happened when only one team made the playoffs and they went right to the World Series.
That's funny.
So you won there was a pennant, and the pennant was I won the AL. And so it's just you have the best record in the league, you win the AL, you go to the World Series. No playoffs, just straight do not pass go, straight to the World Series. And it was like 20 of 27 happened before like color television or something. All of them were insane. 20 of 27 happened before, you know, integration.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the MO of Yankees fans, is talking about the rings. And again, it's like, dude, I don't really give a shit about stuff that happened years ago.
20 some of 27 happened before free agency. And then people were like, see, Yankees just been, and it was like, no, motherfucker. Other teams they could just go to the Yankees. They would just find kids and offer them money.
How legit are the Brewers?
Well, pretty fucking legit, bro.
I mean, 14 in a row. They finally lost.
Yeah. And of course, they finally lost the game. I'm like, it would be nice if you won this one, because your Reds. How much do you care about the Reds right now? Scale from 1 to 10.
2.
2.
Is that low? You know, I was thinking about this. I was really thinking about this, actually. You know, my perspective changed so much living away from my hometown and then moving back.
Yeah.
It really did. No, I mean, it's serious. Like people can say what they want, but when you live in Los Angeles and you have the Dodgers consistently winning, you have the Rams who are consistently winning, you have the Lakers The Clippers are what they are, but like but my point, even the Kings won multiple Stanley Cups. So I was like, my point is, when you're around teams where they care, and you see it, and I know some of this is apples to oranges because it's a big market versus a mid-major market, but it's really not when it comes to some of these sports with salary caps. But my point is, I come back and it's like, I did enjoy going to the Reds games, and then that guy said that.
I always think, listen, here's my problem with the cry poor small market.
I hate it.
Bullshit is what, pardon me, Andy, what the fuck else are you doing? Like your owner said, where the fuck else are you going to go? Or what else are you going to do? Or like whatever the quote was.
Yeah. Where are you going to go?
There's some truth to that in that, like,
sure.
There's some truth to that in the, like, it's not what you want your owner saying. I would argue it would be the complete opposite. How easy is it for us to get people here if we're good? Because what the fuck else are they going to do?
It's true.
There are people who live in New York City who pack their social calendar with culture and never once think about sports. Like, never think about it. Like, the Yankee hat to them is a fashion statement. They never once conceptualize going to sporting, and they go to museums, they go to this, and they go to fucking restaurants, and they go to, every two, they think Madison Square Garden is where Billy Joel plays once a month. Like, there's a million concerts, there's other things, but like in a small market, what an easy way to get people there if you care. You could stockpile money. I think about small market sports teams the way I think about like the small market restaurant. I have heard, and of course I'm going to fuck myself up right now because my brain won't let me, but what is the rib place in Cincinnati? What's the place to get the ribs?
Montgomery Inn.
Montgomery. I've heard about Montgomery Inn from 400 people because it's like the spot for ribs.
Yeah.
Anchor Bar in Buffalo is where fucking wings started. Like, you own the town when you have the fucking thing. There's no, I bet you there's a Reddit that's over 1 million posts long about what the best pizza in New York is. Like, I bet, like, there's no, like, oh, well, it's fucking blah, blah, blah. Like, you can own the town just by caring. So it's horrible for fan base. And you see it when small market, look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. They own the fucking town.
No, I agree. And again, like, I really do view, here's my thing. We obviously love sports. Like, I love sports. So my view is like, I can still get my fill with how great TV is. Like, it's like, you have to earn, again, this is just me. Like I understand the person who's like, I want to get away from the family, or I want to take the family. I'm not faulting any of that. I'm just saying, me personally, I view it same way I view relationships with spending money anywhere, a restaurant or wherever. It's like, dude, you have to give me good service. You have to want to care. If you don't care about me, I'm not going to care about you just because I care about you. Again, I think because I lived in a city that had good teams and I saw it, I'm like, okay, cool. The same way I am about football. It's like, I love football, and we'll get to that later in the show, because I had a few people reach out to me like, you guys like don't have the fire. And I'm like, that's not true. That's not what we said.
Yeah.
We just said, we're not getting turned on social media over film from somebody's practice.
Right.
I don't give a shit.
Right.
But like I'll be honest, I went in today. I've been going to the gym right after I drop my kids off to daycare. Right when I went in, it's fucking all those they're all cheddar dicks. You're all cheddar dicks on ESPN. It's fucking Dan Orlovsky and them breaking down the game film of fucking Caleb Williams. Dude, I literally said out loud, I was like, people must have thought I was crazy. It's like I was talking to myself, walking by. I go, you're all losers. You're losers. You're a loser. You're breaking down game film from a preseason game. That means nothing to me. Nothing.
I saw a post on TikTok yesterday. I saw a post on it was I almost wrote that you're the epitome of sports fans, but it was a chick, and it was a still photo of her. I wish I could pull it up. I didn't like it or anything. I just put a comment on it. It was a photo of her with like a Cubs hat and like a Chicago shirt or whatever. And it was something along the lines of like, when your baseball team wins and your quarterback looks great and you're not from fucking Green Bay or something like that. And she had a hat, her hat pulled down, and then she had a cigar. Like it was like, I'm puffing on this cigar because all the things are good. The cigar was still in plastic, and she had it in her mouth backwards. And I just wrote, your cigar is in your mouth backwards. I didn't even write, it's still in plastic. But I was like, this is the embodiment of like you so don't know what you're doing that you can't even do the thing that you're pretending to do while you like watch the thing that you probably don't understand. My thing on, listen, here's my thing about the NFL and preseason, whatever. Cool, do whatever. Like, dude, if you don't have shit else going on and you want to break down fucking game film, and listen, the guys on ESPN, they're doing it because there's losers who are watching it.
For sure.
That's
sure.
why, like, Dan
I get that.
Orlovsky's not a loser. Dan Orlovsky's just getting his pay.
No, yeah. No, I agree.
But yeah,
like,
but the losers are watching it.
He's still a cheddar dick.
But my problem with it is, it's the people who take in all the things, but they're not learning anything. They're not processing anything. They're not like garnering any sort of, I start watching football week 1, snap 1. I stop watching football at the last whistle of the Super Bowl. You spend 5,000 hours breaking down game film in the preseason, and then you come to me with your hot takes that Kirk Cousins is going to be the MVP. And I'm just like, why do I do so much less and know so much more?
Well, this will kind of lead into it. I tweeted this the other day. I have a new, like we talk about NFL players, former players with CTE. I think NFL fans have CTE. I think a lot of you guys' brains should get checked. I'll just be straight up. It's somewhat serious, somewhat sarcastic. I tweeted, signs you have NFL fans CTE. I listed 3 things. 1, you watch preseason NFL games. My mind cannot comprehend that.
Listen,
2, this one is the big one for me.
Go ahead.
You post or engage in social media clips of your favorite team's training camp practices. I don't really give a shit what your defensive end you drafted, how he looks against your own team's O-line or vice versa.
Yeah.
Like you're insane. It means nothing. Nothing. You have fan CTE. And 3, you actively support the Cleveland Browns, which was obviously just a dig. You could insert Jets or any other crummy teams. But like I said we can create more of these lists. Like you guys
have more. I have some more.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I think this one might be Antonio Brown CTE. This is Aaron Hernandez. This is Aaron Hernandez, NFL fan CTE. And let me qualify. If you have kids, I get it. If you don't have kids or they're not with you, you could have kids, but if they're not with you, it doesn't matter. And you go to a preseason game, you're mentally ill. You have what are you doing? Here's the thing. Going to training camp is kind of fun because there's an interaction. You're way more close to the action.
It's a wall broken down.
There's a wall broken down, especially if you have kids, players coming around.
With kids, it's really cool.
They can't, the whole thing.
Yeah.
You and your buddies tailgating to watch a scrimmage is fucking like, how do you even have room in the trunk for beers with all the bodies?
Okay. I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate. When you buy season tickets, they're gonna toss in the preseason like it's part of the deal. Sell them. Okay, that's fair.
First of all, sell them. Find somebody who has NFL CTE to sell them to. Sell them to somebody who has kids. How about this? Give them to somebody who has kids.
I agree. I think it's great for kids.
Find a dad who's got 3 boys and be like, they make me buy these fucking preseason games.
Yeah.
Take your kids.
Look,
I
agree.
get that they charge you for it. I get that.
And I've said this. My first
But who's
ever
going?
my first ever game. I've said this. My first ever Bengals game was a preseason, the year after they won the Super Bowl. That's when, like, I started after they lost one. That's funny. When they lost, my dad, this is exactly what happened. At that point, he'd given up his season tickets. Somebody at work gave him great seats. It was Bengals Bills, who had just played in the AFC Championship the year before. I remember it was exciting. I was going to be a second grader. It was like,
you're a kid, you don't even understand that it's not you
Exactly.
understand it's a preseason game, but it's not. You don't understand.
Exactly.
You're looking for the guy who plays on the team that you know. You don't know that all these guys are fucking backups and shit.
Exactly. So I agree. Like, I do. I think I agree. That's like Antonio Brown level CTE. You and your boys tailgating for a preseason game. I couldn't think of something I'd rather do less.
Yeah. You got some more? I got more.
Well, I was going to ask on this one. I know a lot of people are going to get defensive on this. Like, where does what role does fantasy play in this?
I got it.
Okay, because I was trying to kind of pin it down. I couldn't.
I started with 2. I adjusted it to 3. I went back to 2, and then now I just put 2 to 3. Being in more than 2 to 3 fantasy leagues.
Oh, that's good.
I understand. Listen, I'm not a fantasy guy.
Yeah,
I will be in one fantasy league this year that'll be the utmost casual. It's all my high school. It's essentially an excuse for a high school friends group chat.
for sure.
We don't even play for anything.
Yeah.
Which to me, don't even get me started. I have a problem with that.
I do too. That's stupid.
But I'm like, I don't care. I stopped doing fantasy years ago. I don't care. These guys want to do it. I'll do it for the group chat. And then they're like, we're not even playing it for anything. And my initial reaction was like, what the fuck are we doing here? And then I'm like, why do I give a shit? I don't care anyway. So fine. If you have, you're like, this is my fantasy. I've been doing this fantasy league for 5 years or 10 years, 15 years, whatever it is. Okay. So you got your one. I'm giving you one buffer. I'm giving you one outside your prime fantasy league that you're like casually in. Oh, this is my work friends. This is my school friends. This is my whatever. This is my family. It's like my mom and my sister-in-law, my brother. Like, okay. If you get to 3 fantasy leagues, how many of the league's players do you now have on your 3 fantasy team? You just sit there and watch the games and go, I really hope Caleb Williams does well, except in the other league where I hope he doesn't do well. I hope, like, once you get to the point where you're like you have NFL CTE, what are you doing this for? How about I give you the $60 you're going to win if you win this league? I kick you in the nuts and we call it even.
I think that's a good number. 3.
I think it's 3. And then like I'm here for the random guy. I'm open and willing to hear from the random guy who's like, I've been in this league for 15 years. We fucking do it forever. I now do one with my work friends, and I do a third casual one with my family. I'm here for that. But like, that's a very, like, the majority of people, if you have 3, you're insane.
just again, this is my personal view, and I know not everybody has to agree. I get way more out of, hey, I could win money on the line here. You know what I'm saying? Like I get way more enjoyment off watching the end of that game. Am I going to cover? Versus
that's part of the fantasy thing is like, if your justification for it is it's honestly kind of one of the major things that's wrong with football fandom these days. If your justification for it is like, I can win a bunch of money playing in fantasy, you're just kind of admitting you don't know the game well enough to make money fucking gambling on it. You're like, I only know about statistics. I don't actually know about teams winning and losing, who's good, who's not good. I just know Devontae Smith is going to put up 1,200 yards this year. And that is going to be, and he's more likely to put up 1,200 yards this year than Devontae Adams, who's coming. It's like, cool. I don't care. Like, the stat watching fan, the fantasy-based fan is my least favorite fan. They're the ones that drive the worst conversations on the internet.
Well, that's my point, is that, again, like, if you have money on the line for the end of the game, it's exciting. To me, versus like, oh, is he going to get that final rushing yard?
Right.
It just doesn't do as much to me.
But also, again, I think it's the basis for a lot of the worst fans, a lot of the people that drive the worst conversations in
the Kirk Cousins person, because he's good at fantasy,
right? Or like the whatever. Like, so I got into it with this guy on TikTok.
Dak Prescott.
I got into it with this guy on TikTok last night. I saw this post, and it was a nothing post, but I threw a comment on it, and then of course people dove in the comments, and it was a podcast like this, two guys, they're remote, and the one guy goes, it was like they were doing like crazy hot take or whatever, and the one dude was like, crazy hot take, Peyton Manning was better than Tom Brady, he just wasn't on the Patriots. And I was like, that's one of my crazy hot takes as well. So I was like, oh, let's see what the comments say. And one guy was just in the comments and was just like, rings matter. And I was like, right. Which is why Eli Manning is better than Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre and Dan Marino and whatever. And then it's like, well, no, statistically. And so I go in the back and forth. It's clearly just a Tom Brady stand, right? It's clearly just a Tom Brady stand. He did it. He not only does he have the statistics, he did it when it mattered most. And I was like, did he? All right, let's take it to our good friend ChatGPT. Fun fact: Tom Brady was outplayed by the opposing quarterback in 5 of his Super Bowls. 5 of his Super Bowls, pretty obviously, pretty clearly, statistically, and this isn't even the ones that are like borderline. Pretty obviously, pretty clearly, pretty statistically, he was outplayed in 5 Super Bowls. And he's 7-3. In fact, in the 7 Super Bowls he won, he was outplayed 3 times. In the 3 Super Bowls he lost, he was outplayed twice. Pretty much a flip of a coin whether or not your quarterback outplays the other quarterback statistically. Because we know in football, it doesn't matter. It's not about Tom Brady statistically in those Super Bowls. It doesn't have anything to do with his statistics. It had to do with the moments in the game. Yeah. I'm not arguing Tom Brady wasn't great. I'm just arguing if you go to statistically, if you're only looking at this statistically, your theory is bunk. Tom Brady just did it better. You're right. Tom Brady did do it, but not statistically. As far as fantasy quarterbacks go, Tom Brady was probably outplayed in 6 or 7 of his Super Bowls, because the Kurt Warner Super Bowl where he throws 3 picks and blah, 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 blah is, or however many the fucking, whatever, is still a better fantasy game. So stop being a fantasy. Don't get your opinions based on fantasy stats.
That's definitely a problem. I agree.
Yeah.
Forming opinions about players, about teams because of fantasy. That's definitely, especially with the quarterback position.
Yeah.
That's definitely a problem. Did you have more NFL
I do.
fan CTE?
Planning things around your football team's schedule after week 8 right now. If you're like, hey, week 5, I can't go to that brunch with your mom because it's Chiefs Eagles. Okay. After I don't care who your team is. I'm not saying, like, listen, if you have week 12 tickets to a game, I understand NFL tickets are hard to come by and if you want to go to a game. But I'm saying I might need to really be locked into blah, 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 because bro, your team, knock on wood, Patrick Mahomes could shred his knee. The Bengals could suck. Stop doing the thing where you're like, I'm not saying you're guys like us, you're a big football fan, you just go, hey, Sundays in the fall, I don't do shit. But like the very specific, I can't play in that golf tournament that you asked me to because that's going to be a big Chiefs Raiders game in week 16. Yeah, or both of them will be out of the playoffs by then. What are you talking about? If you're checking in on the NFL calendar 3 months from now to see what you might be doing when your friend invited you to his wedding, you have NFL CTE.
One of the ones I added, and again, I haven't like phrased it properly, but you'll get it, is bootlicking or siding with billionaire owners over the players. Which you can
over any siding with them over anything. The players, the fans, the
no, but you can but it's the worst in the NFL for some reason. It just is. Yeah. It is. You see it. It's the worst. You know, I live in a town with 2 terrible family-run ownership groups, but I do see a difference, an obvious difference. People take digs at the Brown family with the Bengals, but people definitely take way more. Talk shit about the Reds ownership because you'll still see a fair amount of Bengals fans be like, Trey Hendrickson signed the contract. He signed it. And you know what no one ever thinks when they talk about these contracts, whether it's him or Michael Parsons or any of these guys who are negotiating. Guys, take any job. Take football out of it. If you outperform your job, I don't care what it is, you're going to renegotiate. Plain and simple. Oh, right. To take the profession of sports out of it. If you're
but you also can't take the profession of not just sports, but specifically football out of it because you get workers' comp if you get hurt on your job. In the NFL, you get hurt, you're dead to them. Fuck you. Bye forever. You're human garbage. We don't care. Drag his limp body off the field and get me somebody from the practice squad to replace him. If you are an elite player, including like Hendrickson, but haven't built enough of a legacy where your number's getting retired, tomorrow he will never be talked about again. After this season where they're like, oh, imagine what we would have done with Hendrickson this year. 2 years from now, they're never talking about him again, ever, because they're not retiring his number. They're not putting him in the ring of honor. They're just like, oh, yeah. What ifs? The fucking luckily, Brandon Roy is still rich.
Good reference. No, it's true. It's like you see a lot of that. And obviously right now what's happening, and I don't know if you saw, it came out today. The sticking point on the Hendrickson thing is the Bengals don't want to give any more guaranteed beyond this year. And people will be like, well, he is 30 years old. And I'm like, okay, so he's led the NFL in sacks the last 2 years combined. He's second the last 3 years combined. Like, so we're talking about, you know, a guy it's like he can't be playing at a better elite level. And people are like, the argument of what if he has one more good year and they have to pay 3 guarantees? Sorry, that's life. That's life.
And you know what's so funny about it is they want the loyalty and they want the players to be loyal to these colors, this laundry, this owner, this whatever. And they're like, you gotta fucking. And meanwhile, the owners do the exact same thing. The second they get a better offer, they're gone. We're going to Vegas.
Yeah.
We're going there. We're going here. We're going to Nashville. We're going to fucking whatever. Like, you're the only one who gives a shit. Only the fans are like, we're loyal. Yeah, motherfucker, because you can't leave Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You're loyal because you're stuck with the Bengals, dude.
For sure. Did you? Oh, I didn't send this to you. I sent it to you give me one. I'm gonna rip this. You're gonna die when you see this. You do one more, and I'm gonna pull up this clip.
That was my last one.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Your last one was the fantasy.
Yeah. No, my last one was. I had another. What was my? Oh, the week. The stop planning months out around your football team. Stop. Go to your nephew's christening. I promise the Bengals Browns week 14 game isn't going to matter. And I say that saying don't ever go to any christenings, generally. But like,
bro, wait until you see this. This is gonna make you crack up. This is Mike Brown showed up. I'm gonna do full screen for this fucker. He showed up. He normally sits in the car. He just turned 90. This is the Bengals owner. Look at him on the sideline during practice this weekend. This is the guy in charge of this whole situation with Trey Hendrickson.
Is he dressed?
I mean, look at this, Prano. He like look at this outfit. Just look at the whole 9 yards, the socks, the shoes. Yeah. He's in charge. He's in charge of what they're going to do.
He's got his little note card with his speech prepared.
And then, oh God, now I just can't stop dunking on him. And then, because it's so much fun.
I just wanted to come out and thank the members of this team, including Jabaro, Chase Bank, and Ricky Henderson. I can't read this, guys.
And dude, and this is his daughter. No, this isn't it. Where is it? Here. Look, this is his daughter.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Katie Blackburn.
Yeah.
Calling the shots.
Yeah. No, that's unbelievable.
Bro.
The audacity of that, the audacity of Hendrickson to give that lady his literal blood. and she's negotiating with him. Meanwhile, just yesterday, she screamed at a teenager that if they can't get the right amount of pistachio syrup into her iced latte, she's going to buy the whole goddamn Starbucks franchise and put you all out of business. Now, I'd like to see a manager. And they were like, our manager is AI. We could direct you to a computer screen.
Yeah. Okay, so that begs the question. Week 1, we got to ask now because the two big edge guys have contract issues, and they both play for family-run franchises. The Cowboys, the Bengals, Micah Parsons, Trey Hendrickson. Who's on the field week 1? I think Hendrickson is. You know why?
Why?
I think it is tougher because even though I think he has a couple good years left in him, I think it's a lot easier to sit when you're 25.
It's a lot.
Like Micah Parsons.
It's also a lot easier to sit when you're the Cowboys and it's Jerry Jones and you're like, cool, it's easier to get into a negotiating war with somebody
who's going to pay you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
As opposed to Mike Brown and Katie Blackburn, who they're getting caught up. They sit down in a boardroom every day, and their fucking accountant or whatever catches them up on all the contract negotiations, and they're like, Trey Hendrickson's sitting out until you pay him. Also, the guy who did the tiles in your bathroom said he's not coming back to finish until he gets paid his deposit. And they're like, well, we asked for eggshell, and it was banana cream. So you can tell him to go with our defensive end and line up in the people we're not giving a goddamn red cent to.
Dude, I mean, let's not forget. I think I played it on our show. There's this clip that's been going around from 2009 Hard Knocks, where Mike Brown straight up to Marvin Lewis and the coaches. I forget what the position was, but asked if they can convert a tight end to member to like a defensive end.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Like, what?
Yeah.
What? I wish.
Do you know anything about grout? Because I'm in a real situation with my contractor.
Guys, I'll tell you what. I wish, and I'm sure you can look it up. I'm telling you, I wish you could see this fucking bubble. It is the most sorry. Every time I have to drive across through downtown, across the river right there. I drive by if I go to Brittany's parents' house, and I went there Saturday. I'm telling you, when you see it from 75, which is the freeway, and you're crossing the river, when you see this bubble and then you see their practice field, I'm telling you, it is the most sorry, pathetic thing. If I ever got somebody like Joe Burrow, not that he would, like on a podcast or just in general, I would just love that. Be like why? Like, of course, nobody does that because they have their credentials removed because the Bengals would do it. I would just love somebody to be like, dude, what's it like to play in high school type facilities when you had anything you wanted at Ohio State and then LSU? I'm telling you, it's cringe to think this is a professional team when you drive by the bubble in their practice field. It's so embarrassing. But that goes back to our fan CTE. They'll be like, the Bengals are not cheap. They paid Joe Burrow. They paid Jamar Chase. They're not cheap. They're not cheap. They paid them. They're not cheap. I'm like, dude, have you just driven down the freeway? Like, look at that. Like, I showed you the banner when they were AFC champs hanging in their bubble. I even got Justin Wood to admit yesterday, we were laughing at the Hendrickson situation, that he really should have maybe rethought that Bengals tattoo.
Who?
Justin Wood said that.
Oh.
I mean, he's joking.
Yeah.
You know what? I've never felt better and watch the Ruther curse. Watch the Bengals go 13-4. I would say I've never felt better about these Bengals division winning bets.
Listen, you can't
predict. That's what I'm saying. They could go 13-4.
That's the other thing. That's why we go back to this, like the preseason shit. Is like you can feel great about it all you want until Lamar Jackson fucking injures his elbow. Like the NFL is so unpredictable.
100%.
So I would never feel good about any of this stuff. Like
I agree.
Obviously, I make a ton of preseason bets based on what I think will or won't happen, but the NFL is so unpredictable. That's why I don't get fucking caught up in this.
Yeah.
Listen, the Mets played on well, I guess it was Saturday. Mets played a day game on Saturday. We had a lazy day on Saturday. We were bad couch. Like we were just like, it was, it was one of those days where you just didn't want to get up and do anything. It was just like, we're like decadent Saturday, lay around the house, do nothing. So I watched the Mets game. Mets game's over. They're going into post game shit. And I'm like, all right, bro, I'm not going to sit here and watch post game. Okay. Like, grow up. Like, we're not doing this. And then I'm on Twitter or Threads or TikTok or something like that. And I see some Jackson Dart shit. And I was like, oh, I think the Giants are on like right now. So I put the game on and just like have it on, background noise. I'm walking around the house. Now, honestly, my lack of interest in preseason got me out of the bed at that point. I was like, all right, well, it's on. I was like, I'm going to go fold the laundry or whatever. But I got it. It's on in the background. And then Jackson Dart comes in. And I'm like, all right, I'll watch a drive. Cool. Left the room, came back, watched another drive. Looks pretty good. And then you go on the internet and they're like, dude, I go, guys, he started the second half. He's playing against backups.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he looked pretty good. Great. It's better than him looking terrible against backups. It would be concerning if he looked terrible against backups, but he's playing backups. The whole idea that like people are sitting there going, look at this read on this play. Look at this read where the defensive back fell down because he's never actually ran backwards. He's a converted tight end playing defensive end because Mike Brown thinks that's the same position. It's insane.
It is insane. It really is. And I'm telling you, the posting, to me, like next level CTE is posting of practices, your own team.
Well, that's always CTE to me because, like I said a couple of episodes ago, it's like you guys, people pick and choose which side they want to focus on. So it's like if your defensive end gets in on your quarterback, he just fucking sheds your tackle and gets in on your quarterback. He's like, and look at our rookie edge rusher. He's electric. It's like, or your starting right tackle's incompetent.
Exactly.
Joe Burrow's going to get fucking murdered again this year and probably not play all the games because your right tackle just got pancaked by a rookie.
Yeah.
No, there's some things you just can't stop. Like he's the immovable object. He's just so good. That could have been fucking Munoz. He wasn't stopping him. He's a third round beast. Caleb Williams throws 3 picks in his first 3 passes around. Bears defense is going to be legit. It's like, yeah, or your quarterback's incompetent. One or the other. You get like.
Well, I was telling you before the show, I started episode 2 of the Bills Hard Knocks. And I got like 10 minutes in. And I was just like, Friday night, I was folding laundry in the bedroom, and I was like, I don't know. There's so many options to watch things. And again, this is nothing against the Bills. I was just like, and then the light bulb went off, and I was like, oh, you haven't watched the latest episode of South Park still, which, by the way, is very, very good.
Which is there another? Is this the third
one?
The
Kristi Noem one.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, it was like I said the Trump one, the first one I said it was good, but it wasn't. I said I think they'd had a lot better. The second one like blew that out the water, in my opinion. Like I was legit laughing out loud. Like it's really funny.
Your face is running away.
Like, yeah, it's just the whole thing. Not just her, the Ice stuff, how they portray Ice, Mr. Mackey, JD Vance. It's just the whole Dora the Explorer. I mean, obviously you guys are live, you guys have watched it. Really funny. Like again, like legit laughing out loud. But then after that, then I made the decision. I was like, oh, okay, South Park's not that long. Do you go back to Hard Knocks? And the truth was, Brittany came upstairs and was like, you want to watch something? And then she's like,
so
and I didn't. And again, I don't know if I'm going to go back though.
So let me ask you something, Andy, because I haven't even started the second episode, and the third episode comes out tomorrow, right? Is that
Yeah.
track? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it an oversaturation
Yes.
of NFL stuff?
I think that's what it is for me.
Is it an oversaturation of like having stuff on demand where like before you couldn't do that?
Yeah.
Has Hard Knocks gotten worse?
I don't think Hard Knocks has gotten worse. And I think you have obviously a lot of interesting storylines. And and I don't know, I'm sure at some point they hop in. Maybe they did in that episode, the DeMar Hamlin thing. And it's like, you have interesting storylines. I think you're right. I think it's oversaturation. There's a million different reality shows with these teams now, with these players. And I'm just like, again, my opinion on the Bills is already there. Probably same as yours. It's like, who's going to compete against them in the division? They're a top 5 Super Bowl contender, betting wise, top, I think maybe 3 even. And I don't know. It's like, it's the same storyline in my head of like, can you beat the Chiefs? Can you beat Patrick Mahomes? So it's not as interesting, even though they are a good team. But all those things, and then exactly, I'm like, there's so much stuff to watch that I was like, do I want to give an
That's
hour?
the thing. I feel like that part of it, and not just the content of like receiver, quarterback, blah blah blah, midseason. I feel like simply even the preseason stuff. Like if I wanted to watch 4 preseason games this weekend, I could have. The NFL Network, you're getting blah 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 blah. I think you go back to a certain point, and Hard Knocks was the only video NFL content other than 3 seconds of highlights from camp that you got prior to the season starting.
Yeah.
It was like kind of like, ooh, a little football appetizer every year is Hard Knocks. And now it's like, oh, I can watch the full Giants practice with guys on Twitter being like, oh, Jackson Dart looks like a next level legit star. I haven't seen reads like that since Phil Simms.
But then, and that's it too. You're exposed to so much on social media. But even like the Bills, again, we all know Josh Allen's story. We all know DeMar Hamlin's story. We all know Sean McDermott. He's got like, his big knock is the playoff. It's like, you know a lot of these main characters, the cast of characters. We know this is kind of like a defining year for Bosa. He has been hurt. He signs a 1-year kind of like make or break the rest of his career. It's like, I know those stories. They did end up signing James Cook. It's like as crazy as it sounds, the Bills to me, I don't really give a shit about until the playoffs.
Yeah.
Unless they just suck. And like you said, any given Sunday or any given season, you're just like, what happened to the Bills? And I don't foresee that happening. I don't know. I just, again, to the NFL's credit.
And obviously I understand if you're a Bills fan why it's fucking great.
No, if you're a Bills fan, it's like one of the workers at our daycare. She's diehard Bills.
Yeah.
Diehard. And she's like turn. I get it.
Yeah.
She's turn. But like, I don't know, man. I just like you said, I think it's oversaturation, and then there's just so many other things, so many options as well. It's just the age of content that we live in. I don't know. Like I'm actually, as I talk it through with you right now, I'd be shocked if I go back to it. I've never given up this early.
On Hard Knocks.
Yeah. And maybe I haven't seen it, and maybe I'm missing it, and I could be wrong. I feel like I'm not even seeing as much on social. Like, dude, they used to blow up Twitter. Hard knocks. Hard knocks. Oh my God, did you see what they said?
Well, we've covered that. I mean, I think that's in addition to all the other issues I have with Twitter. It's like sports Twitter is just not what it was. Sports Twitter used to be such a great place. Now it's a cesspool.
I think once the season starts, obviously I'm going to be like just to like let everybody know, like my passion for the NFL is not down. Like I haven't lost passion for the NFL. That's definitely not happened. It's like neither of us ever had a turnt passion for the fucking preseason.
Right.
And by the way, one more. Let me just add one more NFL fan CTE. If you ever think about, let alone attend the draft and aren't paid or it's not a promotional thing, like you should be locked in about toward. And that's a lot of fans. We've talked about attending the draft, getting in your car. Like I just take me through that thought process. You're
also on the tip of drafts, if you look at more than, and I'm again graciously here, 3 mock drafts the entire postseason. Oh, they've got us getting a safety from Colorado State in the 4th round. For the 4th round, they've got Shedeur Sanders going 2nd overall. He went in the 5th round, dude.
You know who these people are. It's that old barber who got fired for stealing from my barber shop, who literally wanted to fight me because I said the Bengals did the right thing by letting Joe Mixon go. He's not worth the money. He's older, and they found a great running back, which they did.
Listen,
It's
again,
that guy.
it's not just this isn't a boomer thing. It's not just young people. It's just the digital age. Everybody has information that they can cherry pick, and they have a way to disseminate their opinions. There should be an IQ test to use the internet for posting. If you want to just quietly look at things, that's different. But like, again, I didn't even but I got in this conversation with this guy. I was just playing devil's advocate on this like fucking social media post. This Tom Brady cheddar dick stan. He's just like, yeah, but and of course I was just like, remember when Tom Brady got hurt and the Patriots won 11 games and he came back and they won 10? Yeah, well, I go, Peyton Manning, they lost do you think they were trying to win starting Curtis Painter? I was like, well, Curtis Painter started in college. So Matt Castle hasn't started a game since high school when he won 11 games in the NFL.
You are always looking to take digs at Brady.
I was just pointing out, again, the same as I do with everything. If you're counting rings, you're a loser. And you're just admitting I don't know.
Well, you have to have if you're counting rings solely.
Yeah, without
solely.
Also anything without
context.
Without context.
Yeah.
I go. The guy was like, "Oh yeah, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning had better offensive weapons every single year of his career except for 07." I go, "Oh yeah, remember the Patriots winning in 07? No, because Randy Moss doesn't. The phrase isn't elite wide receivers win championships. The phrase is fill in the blank. It's like cool story, bro. Like I don't give a fuck about your fantasy stat counting."
I see a comment in the YouTube comment section, and I've had some people ask me about this. Are you guys watching any of the Little League World Series this year? What's the controversy? I'll be honest, I haven't seen. Do you know? Multiple people are like, are you guys following the controversy?
No, I have no idea.
But I'll be honest, guys. Like this kind of goes back to my point of like there's so much content.
I've never watched the Little League World
Me
Series.
either.
Never once ever. I used to watch the College World Series when I was like in high school and shit like that. The Little League World, dude.
Oh, okay, here it is. Little League. Wait. Softball, or this is from 2 days ago. Little League softball eligibility scandal has escalated with multiple sources alleging a cover-up involving a team that used ineligible players. So this is the softball, or this is a little like?
I mean, that comment didn't say anything about any sort of scandal. Davis just said, "Are you guys watching the Little
I know,
League
but a lot of people have DM'd me.
Oh,
and I forgot to look it up.
I'm not watching any of the Little League World Series. In fact, I would almost suggest, and I'm just gonna pull a fucking like, I don't know who's in the Midwest, fucking Youngstown, Ohio is representing. If you're not from Youngstown, Ohio, and you're watching the Little League World Series, I've got it. I'm gonna need to see your hard drive.
I knew you were going there. Yeah. I no, I can't. Don't really care. I don't know. That's definitely not on the list. Why do the I was looking at this.
Let me ask you something, Andy. Let me ask something. Gun to your head. Bengals' fourth preseason game, start to finish on television, or Little League World Series championship game, start to finish?
Preseason.
Okay.
I'm not going to hesitate on that.
Okay.
I'm watching WNBA regular season game. Two teams I don't know over Little League World Series.
Okay.
Like what like you said, unless I'm from there, what is the interest level? What is my interest level?
I don't know. I don't even know my answer. I mean, I guess like my thing is, so I'm certainly not watching the Little League World Series as a whole. If you wanted me to watch the championship game, I'm sure there's some storylines I can buy into. This kid, this dad, this mom had cancer, and then her kid learned to hit a curveball, and now cancer care. Whatever the fucking thing is. Also, it's 6 innings. It should go by pretty fast, and like whatever. Also, there's always some fucking humor in like his favorite hobby is, and now these days it'll be like fucking his favorite hobby is making tacos on TikTok, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. Hey, why when you look up the playoff odds, out of curiosity, why are the Mets odds 85.9% and the Reds 14.4%, and the Reds are only a game back? Because the Reds have a much harder schedule the rest of the way, which I knew they do.
Yeah, the Reds do have a much harder schedule, but I think also they're figuring, I would imagine that part of it is the schedule, and part of it is the Mets, the like this, I don't necessarily agree with this, but obviously the analytics of things and the odds, but I think the Mets underperforming and the Reds maybe overperforming. They're like, oh, if both of these teams do what they're supposed to,
The last 40 games. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Brewers, I asked, and then we kind of got sidetracked. Like, we all know they've been really good the last I don't know how many years. They just never make it far in the playoffs. Like, is this the year they can actually make a run?
What's crazy these days is with baseball, and I think it's a dumb thing, but it has manifested this way. The teams that get a break haven't been doing so well, so now they're the best team in the league. Now they're going to get a break, and they're going to like whatever. But the other part is the peak too soon thing. Now listen, they've lost their first game after winning, I think it was 13 straight,
14
straight. So they won 14 straight. They're by no means have they started to slide. They've lost one game. Like next week they could have won 25 of 26 or whatever. But it's all about being hot at the end. You know, these days with the way the playoffs are set up, getting hot at the right time and just riding that hot streak. But that being said, do they have a chance to win the World Series? Of course they do. Of course they do, because they're playing the best baseball, and I think when you look going into the season, it was kind of just like, well, it's the Dodgers to lose, and it's still kind of the Dodgers to lose, but it's not football. It's not basketball. You could have a talent deficiency. The team with the most talent, I don't know if they win 20% of seasons. The talent is way less of a factor than in any other sport. So yeah, they have a chance. Am I gonna predict Brewers to represent the National League in the World Series right now? No, not for anything the Brewers are doing.
Just how hard it is.
Yeah.
But you got on couch's turn. Just drinking his Miller Lights.
Love that. Is he live in Chicago still?
No, he's Milwaukee.
Oh, he's in Milwaukee now. I was about to say he's got to step up his Miller Lite drinking in Milwaukee. I saw an infographic, and I'm going to call out everybody in Milwaukee right now. I'm going to call out everybody in all the states right now. I know it's not a Thursday, so we're not supposed to tell you to go to dirtysports.com/Miller Lite and buy yourself some Miller Lite, but do it anyway. I saw an infographic. I think there's only like 2 or 3 states where the top beer drank is Miller. I think I can pull it up right now. Wisconsin, not one of them, according to this infographic. Infographic said Sam Adams. Sam Adams in Wisconsin. And I was like, how fucking dare you?
Sam Adams?
Yeah. Miller in Oklahoma. Miller in Georgia. Miller in, that looks like probably Virginia. Yeah.
Interesting.
Those are the 3 Miller states. Like, what is going
on in Wisconsin right now?
Michigan, way too many states, by the way. This is maybe the most shameful thing ever. And I don't hate it as a beer. Way too many states big on Heineken. The most drank beer in your state is Heineken. You're sus.
I don't trust that. I don't trust that.
I'll tell you, besides listen, California, Nevada, I mean, guess the beers in California, Nevada, New Mexico, like it's all Corona Modelos, Modelos, Colorado, all that shit. To me, the only non-sus states, here's the only non-sus states there are the Miller states, Oklahoma, Georgia. I think that's Virginia. Virginia's a pretty big one above North Carolina, right? The Miller states. Then you got Montana and Idaho and Alaska big on Guinness.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. And it looks like I think that might be Connecticut or Rhode Island or something also big on. Rhode Island also big on Guinness. New York, Stella Artois. Weird.
Stella's a good beer.
Yeah. The whole state? Big state. Who's in fucking Binghamton drinking Stella? I'm assuming that's a lot of New York City. Yeah,
that is.
So that's a lot of New York City driven. But anyway, guy on couch, step up your shit.
Step it up, guy on couch. Hotline 859-832-0478. Give a shout.
You can come see me do some stand-up this weekend. This weekend. Thursday, if you're in Orange County, a good friend of mine, Rocky Dale Davis, is headlining in Irvine. So I'll be at the Irvine Improv opening for Rocky Dale Davis on Thursday. I believe that's the 21st. The 22nd, speaking of Wisconsin, and I actually sent him this post, and I said, fix your state. Former guest of the show, good friend of mine, Nate Craig. Nate Craig has just dropped a fantastic new comedy special. Right now, it's only available on his OnlyFans and his Patreon. And then September 5th, it drops on YouTube. But Nate is hilarious, and he recorded it at Brad Garrett's in Vegas. So if you're a big Nate Craig fan, get it on his OnlyFans or his Patreon, or watch it for free on YouTube. But he is doing a special release party show Friday at the Improv in the main room, and I'm going to be on that as well. Super secret lineup, so I don't even know who's going to be on it, but I am. So 21st in Irvine Improv, 22nd at Hollywood Improv. JoePrano.com for more shows. Follow me on all the socials at Joe Prano.
And I heard he sells pictures of his feet on OnlyFans as well, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Andy Ruther for me. You guys know the drill. At the Dirty Sports for us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on Friday. Have a great week. And as always, stay dirty.